Atlanta streets are buzzing, fans are gasping. And the love and hip-hop world is on fire because Kirk Frost has just been arrested after allegedly assaulting his wife, Rashida. Yes, you heard that right. The man who has been at the center of countless scandals, betrayals, and late-night drama has taken things to an entirely new level. And this time, the consequences are bigger than just a trending hashtag. According to shocking eyewitness accounts, the argument that started behind closed doors spiraled so far out of control that sirens and flashing blue lights soon replaced the usual glitz and glamour of the Frost household. And as word of Kirk being taken away in handcuffs spread like wildfire across social media, fans were left reeling, demanding answers and asking one chilling question: how did things get this bad? But hold up, it doesn't stop there. Rashida's tearful cries reportedly echoed through the neighborhood, neighbors claiming they heard a fight like never before. Paparazzi photos captured Kirk's face, twisted with frustration and guilt, as officers escorted him into the back of a police car. Meanwhile, Rashida, once hailed as the strongest woman in reality TV, was seen trembling, mascara streaking her cheeks, her phone clutched in her hands as she dialed for help. The couple's empire, built on music, boutiques, and televised drama, is now hanging by a thread, and fans are torn between shock, anger, and heartbreak. And just when you think you've heard it all, whispers suggest this wasn't just a simple fight. There are claims of betrayal, hidden truths, and secrets that could shatter not only Kirk and Rashida's marriage but the very foundation of their family. Buckle up, because what's about to unfold is a story so explosive, it'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about Kirk Frost. The night had started out like any other for the Frost household, but behind the polished image and the glamorous sheen that fans were used to seeing on television, there was a storm brewing that no one could have predicted. Rashida had been growing restless for weeks, noticing subtle changes in Kirk's behavior, the late-night phone calls that ended abruptly the moment she walked into the room, the coldness in his responses when she asked simple questions, and the way his eyes avoided hers when she pressed him about where he had been. Fans have always joked that Kirk had a wandering spirit, but this time, the tension felt different. This time, Rashida wasn't laughing, and this time, it was more than just another tabloid headline. According to those close to the couple, the evening spiraled after Rashida confronted Kirk about a mysterious text message she had seen pop up on his phone. The words were brief but cutting, the kind of message that makes your stomach drop instantly. She can't find out. Meet me later. That was enough to ignite Rashida's suspicion into full-blown rage. Voices echoed through their Atlanta home, arguments bouncing off the walls as Rashida demanded to know who Kirk was meeting and why he was keeping secrets. Kirk, ever the master of deflection, tried to brush it off, insisting it was business and that she was overreacting. But anyone who knows Rashida knows she isn't the type to back down, especially not when she feels betrayed. The shouting reportedly got so loud that neighbors later admitted they heard every word. One neighbor described it as like watching a reality TV fight in real life, except it wasn't entertainment, it was raw pain. Rashida's voice cracked as she screamed at Kirk, "How many times are you gonna embarrass me? How many times, Kirk?" He fired back defensively, his own tone rising. "You don't understand, it's not what you think." But the more he denied, the angrier she became, pacing the room, clutching her phone, scrolling furiously, as if looking for more evidence. Sources say the fight escalated when Rashida threatened to pack her things and leave. She was done playing the role of the supportive wife in public while being humiliated in private. "I'm not your fool, Kirk," she reportedly shouted, her voice trembling but firm. "You've dragged me through enough." That was the breaking point. Kirk, cornered and frustrated, allegedly grabbed her arm in a heated moment, trying to stop her from walking out the door. But that single action changed everything. Rashida, shocked and hurt, screamed for him to let go. It was at that moment that the situation crossed a line from a marital spat to something darker, something that would end with flashing police lights outside their home. Within minutes, calls were made to the authorities. Reports suggest that a neighbor, alarmed by Rashida's cries, was the one who dialed 911. It wasn't just yelling, the neighbor later told a reporter. It sounded dangerous. It sounded like she was terrified. And so, the police arrived. Blue and red lights pierced the night, reflecting off the glossy cars in the Frost driveway. Fans scrolling through Instagram that night had no idea the drama they would wake up to in the morning, when the officers entered the home. Rashida was visibly shaken, tears streaking her face, her phone still in her trembling hand. Kirk, on the other hand, looked stunned, like he couldn't believe it had gone this far. One officer reportedly asked her, "Do you feel safe?" And that single question made Rashida break down even more. Her answer was muffled, but her body language said enough. The arrest itself was surreal. Kirk Frost, the man who had managed to dodge accountability on screen time and time again, was suddenly being escorted out of his own home in handcuffs. Paparazzi had somehow gotten word and were already waiting outside, snapping pictures of the moment. The images that hit the internet shortly after showed Kirk's head down, his face a mixture of shame and anger, while Rashida was comforted by a close friend who had rushed to the house. Fans were floored. One fan tweeted, "This is too real. I thought I'd seen drama on TV, but this is heartbreaking." Another wrote, "Protect Rashida at all costs. She deserves so much better." But the story didn't end with Kirk's arrest. The aftermath inside the Frost family was just as chaotic as the arrest itself. Their children, caught in the middle of the scandal, were left devastated. Friends of the family were torn, some expressing shock, others whispering that they weren't surprised given Kirk's history of betrayal. And as the gossip blogs picked up the story, the details became even murkier. Some claimed Kirk had been hiding financial troubles and was under immense pressure, while others suggested there was another woman involved, the same woman who had sent the cryptic text. The theories multiplied, each one more dramatic than the last. Rashida herself remained mostly silent in the immediate hours after the incident, but her silence spoke volumes. Fans flooded her social media with messages of support, begging her to leave Kirk once and for all. "Sis, we love you." One comment read, "You don't need him." Others worried about her well-being, urging her to take time away from the spotlight. And yet, through all the noise, one thing was clear. This was not just another storyline for television. This was real, raw, and painful. By the next morning, news outlets had plastered the story everywhere. Love and hip-hop star Kirk Frost arrested after domestic dispute. The phrase alone sent shockwaves through the industry. VH1 producers were reportedly scrambling, unsure whether to address the situation publicly or remain silent. Behind the scenes, however, whispers suggested they were already considering how the scandal could play out in the next season. Because in the world of reality TV, tragedy and drama often translate into ratings. Meanwhile, Kirk sat in a holding cell, stewing in his own anger and regret. Sources close to him said he kept muttering, "This wasn't supposed to happen. She pushed me too far." But those words only painted a darker picture, one that fans would not forgive easily. While some loyalists tried to defend him online, the overwhelming majority of public opinion was against him. People demanded justice for Rashida, insisting that she deserved peace after years of standing by him through infidelity and disrespect. And just when it seemed the story couldn't get any more intense, new information began to leak. A close friend of Rashida's hinted that this wasn't the first time things had gotten physical. She alleged that Rashida had confided in her about past incidents, times when Kirk's temper had boiled over behind closed doors. That revelation sent the fanbase into an uproar. "We believed she was strong enough to handle anything, but no woman should have to handle this," one fan commented. The city of Atlanta buzzed with gossip. In beauty salons, barbershops, and late-night diners, everyone had an opinion. Some blamed the pressures of fame and reality TV, saying it had destroyed yet another marriage. Others insisted Kirk had finally shown his true colors and that Rashida needed to walk away for good. The division was clear, but the outrage was louder. What no one knew yet, however, was that this incident would only be the beginning of a much larger scandal. The arrest was the spark, but the firestorm was only just getting started, because as Rashida wiped her tears and tried to process the betrayal, a series of shocking revelations were about to come to light, revelations that would leave fans questioning whether Kirk's arrest was just the tip of the iceberg. In the days that followed Kirk's arrest, the Frost household transformed into ground zero for one of the most explosive scandals reality TV fans had ever witnessed. Reporters camped outside their Atlanta mansion. Fans scrolled endlessly through gossip blogs, and social media timelines were flooded with hashtags like #Justice for Rasheeda and #Kirk Frost Exposed. What had begun as whispers of a heated argument quickly snowballed into a full-on media frenzy, and everyone wanted to know one thing: what would Rashida do next? For years, viewers had watched her hold down her family and career, despite Kirk's endless trail of lies and betrayals. From cheating scandals to secret children, Rashida had endured it all with a mix of grace and pain. often swallowing her pride for the sake of keeping her marriage intact. But now, the narrative was different. This wasn't just about embarrassment or rumors, this was about her safety, her dignity, and the message it sent to every woman watching. Fans wrote passionately on her Instagram, "Rashida, please don't forgive him this time." While another comment read, "You've shown us strength, but now it's time to show us freedom." Rashida, however, remained eerily silent. No posts, no statements, no cryptic Instagram stories. Instead, sources close to her claimed she was deeply conflicted, torn between the love she still had for Kirk and the betrayal that was now impossible to ignore. One insider told a blog, "She's heartbroken, but she's also angry. She knows this has gone too far, and she's struggling with whether this marriage can be saved." That silence only fueled speculation, with some fans convinced she was quietly preparing divorce papers, while others believed she was working behind the scenes to protect her brand before making a public move. Meanwhile, Kirk was released on bail, but instead of laying low, he made things worse. Paparazzi caught him leaving a lawyer's office, looking smug and dismissive. When a reporter asked if he had assaulted his wife, he shot back defensively, "Man, y'all don't know what really happened. People always trying to twist things." That clip went viral instantly, sparking outrage. Fans were livid at his lack of accountability, and Rashida's supporters rallied around her even harder, painting Kirk as the villain who refused to face the truth. But behind the cameras, tensions were boiling over in the Frost family. Their children were devastated by the spectacle. Friends close to them revealed that Rashida's eldest son had a heated confrontation with Kirk, demanding answers. "You made Mom cry again," he reportedly said, his voice trembling with anger. The exchange left Kirk shaken, but not enough to change his stance. Instead, he doubled down, telling family members that Rashida had exaggerated the situation and that the cops blew it out of proportion. This narrative, however, was quickly challenged when new audio leaked to the press. A neighbor had recorded part of the altercation on their phone, and the chilling audio revealed Rashida's tearful pleas for Kirk to stop and let go. The audio was damning, sending shockwaves through the fanbase. One fan commented, under the leaked clip, "I can't believe he would do this. We've supported this man for years, and this is how he treats her." The Frost Empire, once seen as one of love and hip-hop's power couples, was crumbling in real time. As the days dragged on, more shocking revelations emerged. An anonymous source claimed that Kirk had been involved with yet another woman, this time someone closer to the family than anyone expected. The rumor mill churned, with some blogs suggesting it was a mutual friend, others whispering it was someone Rashida had worked with at her boutique. While nothing was confirmed, the whispers were enough to stir chaos online. Fans speculated wildly, demanding names and receipts, while Rashida reportedly spiraled into deeper heartbreak at the thought of yet another betrayal. VH1 producers, watching the scandal unfold, were caught in a moral dilemma. On one hand, the drama was ratings gold. On the other, it risked tarnishing the network's image if they were seen as exploiting domestic violence for entertainment. Behind closed doors, meetings were held to discuss whether Kirk and Rashida would even appear in the upcoming season. "This is bigger than a storyline," one insider reportedly said. "This is real life, and people are watching closely." But as fans begged Rashida to leave, her inner circle revealed she was hesitant, and not just for emotional reasons. The couple's businesses, their brand, and their finances were all deeply intertwined. Walking away wouldn't just mean ending a marriage, it would mean dismantling an empire. Rashida was weighing not only her heart but also her future. That conflict became the heart of the story. Could she choose herself over the empire she and Kirk had built together? The city of Atlanta buzzed louder than ever. Beauty salons debated whether Rashida would finally leave. Radio stations dissected every update. Celebrities even chimed in, with some female rappers and influencers publicly supporting Rashida and blasting Kirk for his behavior. The pressure mounted on both sides, but while Rashida tried to heal privately, Kirk seemed more focused on saving his image. In a shocking move, Kirk decided to release a statement through his attorney. Instead of showing remorse, the statement claimed he was the real victim, accusing Rashida of provoking him and creating a scene. That statement poured gasoline on an already blazing fire. Fans exploded with rage online, dragging him for deflecting blame and refusing to take responsibility. "This man is a narcissist," one Twitter user wrote. "He's gaslighting Rashida in front of the whole world." As public opinion turned almost entirely against him, Rashida's silence became louder than words. Everyone waited for her to make a move, to say something, to reclaim her voice. And then, just as speculation reached its peak, Rashida was spotted in public for the first time since the arrest. Paparazzi captured her, leaving her boutique, her face hidden behind oversized sunglasses, but her tears were visible beneath them. Fans described the images as heart-shattering, saying they had never seen her look so broken. Yet, even in her pain, there was a sense of strength, like she was building the courage to make the hardest decision of her life. The world was watching. The Frost family was divided, and the truth was only just beginning to come out. Because while Kirk tried to spin the narrative in his favor, there were others, friends, family, and insiders who were ready to expose everything. And what they revealed would turn this scandal from shocking to downright explosive. The tension surrounding Kirk and Rashida didn't fade, it only intensified. By the third week after the arrest, the Frost scandal had snowballed into something no one could have anticipated. The headlines weren't just about the assault anymore. Every day brought a new revelation, and every revelation tore deeper into the image of a family that once represented ambition, hustle, and resilience on Love and Hip Hop. It all began when a close friend of Rashida's finally broke her silence. In an exclusive interview with a gossip outlet, she revealed that Rashida had confided in her long before the arrest. According to this friend, Kirk's temper had been an issue for years, but Rashida had always downplayed it, insisting that she could handle it and that their kids needed stability. The friend's words were raw, heartbreaking, and laced with anger. She protected him for too long, the friend said. Now the world finally sees what she's been going through. Those words lit social media on fire, with fans pointing out that Rashida's silence wasn't weakness, it was survival. At the same time, the leaked audio continued to circulate, and now a video had emerged. Security footage from a nearby street camera caught part of the incident, showing police arriving and Kirk being led away in handcuffs. The clip went viral in minutes, and fans dissected every frame. One YouTube commentator put it bluntly, "Kirk, Frost just got caught in 4K, and there's no coming back from this." But Kirk wasn't ready to give up his narrative. In another shocking twist, he sat down for a tell-all interview with a radio station. During the conversation, Kirk painted himself as the victim once again, claiming Rashida had overreacted and that the whole situation was blown out of proportion. He even hinted that Rashida had her own secrets, and suggested that the argument started because she had been digging through things she wasn't supposed to see. His words were calculated, an attempt to shift the spotlight and raise suspicion about Rashida. Fans were furious. One Twitter user summed it up best: the audacity of this man to try and flip it on her when she's the one crying for help. Rashida, however, refused to be baited into a public war of words. Instead, she continued to let her silence speak volumes. But insiders revealed that behind closed doors, she was breaking down. Her boutique team said she had been showing up late, often with tears in her eyes, struggling to keep her business afloat, while the scandal consumed her personal life. "She's exhausted," one employee shared. "She's trying to hold it together, but you can tell she's hurting." Meanwhile, Kirk's reputation was collapsing. Business partners started distancing themselves, canceling collaborations and refusing to be associated with his brand. Even some of his friends in the Love and Hip Hop circle were hesitant to defend him publicly. Young Jock reportedly told someone off camera, "Man, I can't get caught up in that. That's between them, but it don't look good." Scrappy, however, was more vocal, allegedly blasting Kirk in a group chat, saying, "You crossed a line, bro. You don't put hands on your wife." That message was leaked, adding fuel to the fire and proving that even his closest allies were turning against him. The family divide deepened when Rashida's mother, Miss Shirlene, stepped into the spotlight. Fans of the show know she has never been shy about expressing her dislike for Kirk, but this time, her words carried even more weight. In a tearful Instagram live, she addressed the situation directly. "I told y'all about this man years ago. I told y'all he wasn't no good. And now look, my baby is hurting." Her emotional plea had fans rallying behind her, flooding the comments with messages of support and promising to protect Rashida at all costs. But Kirk wasn't done causing chaos. Rumors began swirling that he was preparing to expose Rashida. In retaliation, blogs hinted that he had receipts of his own text messages, emails, and even alleged business dealings that could paint her in a negative light. The gossip community braced itself for a dirty war of public humiliation. One headline screamed, "Kirk ready to drag Rashida down with him," while another read, "Is the Frost Empire about to explode?" The drama reached a fever pitch when a new bombshell dropped. The mysterious text message that started the entire fight wasn't from a random woman at all. According to a source, it was from someone Rashida actually knew, a woman who had been around their circle for years. The betrayal cut even deeper, suggesting that Kirk's alleged infidelity was tangled within their inner circle, making the humiliation far more personal. Fans speculated furiously about the identity of the woman, with names trending on Twitter as people guessed who it might be. Some even accused castmates from Love and Hip Hop, though no one confirmed or denied. Through all this chaos, Rashida's health became a growing concern. Insiders claimed she had lost weight, wasn't sleeping, and was constantly on edge. Yet, at the same time, there were whispers of her preparing for a big move. Rumors circulated that she had hired a top divorce attorney in Atlanta, someone known for handling high-profile celebrity breakups. This sparked hope among her supporters that Rashida was finally ready to walk away for good. Still, fans were divided. Some begged her to leave immediately, saying no amount of money or fame was worth her peace. Others worried about what would happen to the Frost family empire if they split. After all, their businesses, properties, and image were so deeply connected that unraveling them would be messy, expensive, and public. And as the world waited to see what Rashida would do, one final twist emerged that changed everything. Late one night, a blog posted screenshots allegedly showing Kirk texting another woman just days after being released on bail. The messages were flirty, casual, almost dismissive of the chaos surrounding him. One line read, "Don't believe the hype. You know how the media be. I just need to see you soon." The screenshots went viral instantly, leaving fans stunned. The idea that Kirk could be caught up in another woman's arms while his marriage and freedom hung in the balance was almost too outrageous to believe, but in the world of Kirk Frost, nothing seemed impossible anymore. With every new leak, every new rumor, the Frost empire looked closer to collapsing. Rashida's silence was beginning to feel less like hesitation and more like strategy, as though she was building to a dramatic reveal of her own. Fans speculated that she might break her silence in a televised sit-down interview, or even on the next season of Love and Hip Hop. The anticipation grew unbearable. But one thing was clear. The scandal wasn't dying down. It was only getting bigger, louder, and messier. And with Kirk showing no signs of remorse, and Rashida quietly gathering her strength, everyone knew the next chapter of this saga was going to be the most explosive yet. The Frost saga had already reached a boiling point, but what came next would push the scandal into uncharted territory. By the fourth week, the situation was no longer just a family drama, had become a cultural conversation. Talk shows, podcasts, and even mainstream news outlets were discussing Kirk's arrest and Rashida's silence. It wasn't just about celebrity gossip anymore. It was about power, betrayal, and the choices women face when love collides with survival. Rashida finally made her first public move, and it wasn't what anyone expected. Instead of releasing a statement or doing an interview, she appeared at a charity event in Atlanta for women affected by domestic violence, wearing a sleek black dress, sunglasses covering her eyes. She didn't need to say a word, the symbolism was deafening. Paparazzi photos of her standing alongside survivors went viral within hours, and fans erupted with pride. "This is the Rashida we know," one supporter wrote, "silent but strong. She's sending a message without even speaking." Another added, "She doesn't need to tell us. Her actions tell the whole story." But while Rashida's quiet strength won hearts, Kirk was unraveling. Sources claimed he was furious at her public appearance, calling it a PR stunt meant to humiliate him. He doubled down on his narrative, insisting to anyone who would listen that Rashida was exaggerating and that she was using the media to destroy him. His anger spilled onto social media one night when he went live on Instagram, pacing in front of the camera, sweating, his words slurred with rage. "Y'all don't know the truth," he snapped at his followers. "Everybody, painting me like a monster. She ain't perfect either. Y'all gonna see soon enough." The live stream ended abruptly, but not before thousands had tuned in, screen recording every second. The clips spread instantly, with fans calling it the most unhinged thing Kirk has ever done. The fallout was immediate. Sponsorship deals tied to Kirk evaporated overnight. His business ventures, already struggling, began to collapse. Meanwhile, Rashida's brand seemed to rise from the ashes, fans rallying around her boutique and music in a show of solidarity. Sales reportedly spiked, with people saying they were buying to support Rashida, not just the clothes. She was becoming a symbol of resilience, whether she wanted to or not. But then came the revelation that left fans speechless. A whistleblower from within Kirk's inner circle leaked alleged receipts showing that Kirk had been funneling money to a woman on the side for months. The payments, hidden as consulting fees, totaled tens of thousands of dollars. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was financial. Blogs screamed headlines like, "Kirk Frost exposed for secret payments to mistress and was Rashida funding her own betrayal." The shock was overwhelming. Fans who had once shrugged off Kirk's infidelities as typical reality TV mess now demanded accountability. Rashida's mother, Miss Shirlene, went live again, this time angrier than ever. "My daughter built this man up, and he tearing her down. She gave him everything, and he giving it to some other woman behind her back. Not on my watch." Her fiery words only amplified the growing chorus calling for Rashida to leave Kirk once and for all. Meanwhile, the children were once again dragged into the storm. Kirk's oldest daughter reportedly confronted him privately, demanding to know why he couldn't treat their mother with respect. The confrontation was described as gut-wrenching, with Kirk breaking down in tears but still refusing to admit guilt. The Frost kids, caught in the crossfire, became a tragic symbol of how deep the damage had gone, just when it seemed the story couldn't get any darker. Another bombshell surfaced, one that threatened to end Kirk's career permanently. Court documents leaked, revealing that prosecutors were considering pressing additional charges related to financial misconduct uncovered during the investigation. Allegations of fraud and mismanagement surfaced, painting a picture of a man whose empire wasn't just crumbling from scandal but also from legal trouble. Kirk Frost facing more charges blared across social media, sending fans into a frenzy of disbelief. But perhaps the most shocking twist came when Rashida, after weeks of silence, finally broke it, not through a press conference or social media, but in a raw, emotional video message posted late one night. Sitting alone, in her boutique, mascara smudged, her voice shaky but determined, she spoke directly to her fans. "I've been quiet because I needed to process. I've been quiet because my family is hurting. But I can't be quiet anymore. What happened was real. What I went through was real. And I will not let anybody tell my story for me." She didn't mention Kirk by name, but the pain in her eyes told the world everything they needed to know. The video shattered the internet. Within hours, it was reposted across every platform, trending worldwide. Fans praised her vulnerability and strength, showering her with messages of love. Celebrities shared the clip too, from fellow castmates to A-list artists, all standing behind her. The tide had officially turned. Rashida wasn't just surviving the scandal, she was owning it. Kirk, however, was livid. In another rant caught on camera, he vowed to fight back and hinted at a tell-all of his own. But the more he talked, the more fans turned against him. His attempts to save face only made him look guilty, manipulative, and desperate. One fan summed it up perfectly. "The more Kirk opens his mouth, the deeper he digs his grave." The Frost Empire, once seen as a testament to perseverance, now lay in ruins. The couple who once embodied hustle and love on reality TV had become a cautionary tale of betrayal, downfall, and the consequences of refusing to change. And as fans braced themselves for the next twist, one thing was certain: the story wasn't over yet, because in the world of Kirk and Rashida, every ending only leads to another shocking beginning. By now, the Frost scandal had gone beyond just entertainment gossip, had become a living, breathing drama that fans followed like their favorite Netflix series. But unlike a scripted show, this was raw, messy, and unpredictable. The arrest, the leaked receipts, Rashida's emotional video, each moment built on the last, and the world watched with bated breath, waiting for the next chapter. What unfolded in the weeks that followed was more explosive than anyone could have imagined. The legal system closed in on Kirk. His upcoming court date loomed large, and prosecutors hinted that more charges could be tacked on if new evidence came to light. Outside the courthouse, protesters held signs reading "Justice for Rashida" and "No excuses for abuse," while fans live-streamed the scene on their phones, turning Kirk's walk into the building into a public shaming event. Paparazzi captured every grimace, every sigh, every moment he tried to shield his face from the flashing lights. For the first time in years, Kirk Frost wasn't the slick businessman or the reality TV star. He was the disgraced man everyone wanted answers from. Inside the courtroom, the drama played out like a scene straight from Love and Hip Hop. Rashida, sitting quietly with her legal team, avoided Kirk's gaze. He, on the other hand, wore a suit that seemed 2 sizes too heavy, his eyes darting nervously around the room. Witnesses, neighbors, and even close friends were subpoenaed to testify about the night of the incident. One neighbor gave a harrowing account of hearing Rashida scream, "Let me go," over and over again, their voice trembling as they described dialing 911. The testimony brought Rashida to tears, her hands trembling as she wiped her face. Fans following the case online erupted with emotion. Hashtags like #StandWithRasheeda and #KirkOnTrial trended within minutes. But Kirk wasn't about to go down quietly. His lawyers fought hard, painting Rashida as emotional and dramatic, suggesting she was exploiting the situation for sympathy and publicity. It was a risky strategy, one that infuriated fans and made Kirk look even worse. But in a shocking twist, his legal team introduced a bombshell piece of evidence: text messages, allegedly between Rashida and another man. The courtroom gasped. Was Rashida hiding a secret of her own? The messages were vague, but Kirk's defense tried to spin them as proof that Rashida wasn't the innocent victim she appeared to be. The revelation sparked chaos outside the courthouse. Blogs and gossip outlets debated endlessly. Was Rashida really keeping secrets? Or was this just another desperate attempt by Kirk to deflect blame? Fans were divided. Some defended her fiercely, saying even if she did have her own issues, nothing justified what Kirk did. Others admitted the alleged texts made them wonder if the truth was more complicated than it seemed. Meanwhile, Rashida's supporters doubled down. Miss Shirlene returned with another fiery Instagram live, this time calling out Kirk's dirty tactics. He thinks dragging her name gonna save him. Nah, baby. The truth is the truth, and you can't run from it, she snapped, her words echoing across social media. Fans rallied behind her, their loyalty to Rashida unwavering despite the new revelations. But the real twist came when yet another woman stepped forward, claiming she had been involved with Kirk during the very same time he was funneling money to a so-called consultant. Her receipts included late-night messages, hotel records, and even photos of the two together. The proof was undeniable, and the narrative shifted back in Rashida's favor instantly. Blogs exploded with the headline, "Another Mistress Confirms, Affair with Kirk Double Life Exposed." Fans were disgusted, furious that Kirk had the audacity to accuse Rashida of betrayal while he himself was juggling multiple secrets. As all this unfolded, Rashida made her boldest move yet. In a candid sit-down interview with a major network, she opened up about the pain, the betrayal, and the struggle of living under the same roof with a man who constantly disrespected her. Her words were raw. "I've stayed because I thought love could fix it. I thought building something together meant we could survive anything. But surviving shouldn't mean sacrificing myself." The interview went viral instantly, clips circulating across every platform, cementing Rashida as the heroine of this unfolding saga. Kirk, on the other hand, became the villain in the eyes of nearly everyone. His attempts to clear his name backfired spectacularly, his arrogance and refusal to admit wrongdoing only fueling the flames. Former friends stopped answering his calls. Business partners vanished. Even his presence on Love and Hip Hop was now in jeopardy, with producers debating whether keeping him on the show would cause more harm than good. But just when fans thought the Frost Empire had officially collapsed, the final twist hit, a twist no one saw coming. Court documents revealed that Rashida had quietly filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and a pattern of betrayal and emotional harm. The papers were leaked to the press, and fans went into overdrive. After years of standing by Kirk through scandal after scandal, Rashida was finally done. The divorce filing was both shocking and satisfying, the climax everyone had been waiting for. Fans celebrated online, posting messages of love and encouragement. "Finally, free," one comment read. Another fan wrote, "We've been waiting years for this moment. Rashida, you deserve peace." Celebrities shared the news too, with some calling it the end of an era and others praising Rashida's strength for finally walking away. Kirk, blindsided by the divorce filing, reportedly erupted in rage, insisting that Rashida had betrayed him by making the decision without warning, but his anger only made him look smaller, weaker, and more desperate. The once powerful Frost brand was now split in two, and Rashida emerged as the stronger half. And so, the story that began with flashing blue lights outside an Atlanta home ended with a woman reclaiming her voice, her power, and her freedom. But the question that lingered on everyone's mind was simple: what would Rashida do next? Would she rebuild her empire without Kirk by her side, or would the weight of the past still haunt her future? Fans were left breathless, united in anticipation for the next chapter of Rashida's life and the undeniable reality that the Frost family drama had changed everything forever. And there you have it, the whirlwind tale that left Adelana shaking and fans across the world in absolute disbelief. Kirk Frost, once seen as the slick businessman and reality TV husband, is now remembered for the night flashing blue lights lit up his driveway and shattered everything the Frost empire had built. From the shocking arrest to the heartbreaking silence, from leaked receipts to Rashida's powerful decision to finally take control of her story. This saga unfolded like the messiest, most unpredictable season of love and hip-hop, but this time, there was no script. This time, the pain was real. What makes this story hit even harder is how it forced everyone to confront uncomfortable truths. Fans who once rooted for Kirk had to watch him unravel publicly, while Rashida's silence, strength, and eventual decision to speak out turned her into a symbol of resilience. Every twist, Kirk's arrogant live streams, Miss Shirleen's fiery words, the shocking mistresses, the courtroom chaos, and ultimately the divorce papers pulled viewers deeper into the storm. And now, with the Frost Empire split in two, the biggest question remains: where do they go from here? Will Rashida rise stronger than ever, reclaiming her peace and rebuilding without the weight of betrayal? Will Kirk try to stage a comeback, or has his name been tarnished forever? And how will their children navigate the fallout of watching their parents' marriage collapse in front of the entire world? One thing's for sure. This story isn't just another scandal, it's a cautionary tale, a reminder that no matter how polished things look on TV, real life can be far more explosive. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Rashida made the right decision by walking away after years of betrayal? Do you believe Kirk deserves a second chance, or is this the end of his legacy? And more importantly, what do you think the future holds for the Frost family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because you know we'll be reading every single one. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're just as shocked as we are. Subscribe so you never miss another breakdown of the hottest reality TV drama, and turn on your notifications, because if history has taught us anything, it's that the Frost family drama is never really over. Stay tuned, because this is one story that's bound to keep unfolding, and you'll want to be right here when the next bombshell drops.